All right, so it is 4:03. It is 4:03 p.m. Where is it? I have my brother's. No worries. Okay. It is 4:03 p.m. 4:04 p.m. and I am calling this meeting of the Wakefield Youth Council into order. So to start, we're going to say the Pledge of Allegiance. Pledge of Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. I'm going to go through the attendance now. Here, Thomas. Here. Declan. Here. Nathaniel. Here. Parker.
Here.
Jonathan. Michaela.
Here.
Ahmed. Sophia. Olivia.
Here.
Emily said that she would be absent. Marcelo. Nico. Present. Ellie.
Here.
Laurel said she would be absent, and Ava. So, next on our agenda, we have the Municipal Voting Age Reduction Initiative Community Outreach Update and Survey Results. So at our last meeting, we discussed having a survey out in the community and on the Wakefield and in the Wakefield High School. And so that survey for the Wakefield High School specifically was sent out on Tuesday, I believe, by administration. And we already have a lot of responses. We're not going to go over the results in full today because it would be better. I believe it would be better for us to go over those results at our June meeting, because that's going to be kind of our wrap up meeting with this initiative to determine like our final next step if we pursue this at like open town meeting, or if we're choosing to maintain the status quo with the voting age. So I believe that the full survey results in like a slideshow form compared against the community survey results alongside the compiled report from that all of you worked on. I think that would be best. Do we agree with that?
Yes.
Okay. So just to kind of provide some like preliminary results. So over the last couple of days, we've already received 161 responses from students at the high school. And from the results, I'm not going to go into them like the actual breakdowns, but they're showing a lot of diversity in opinions. There's a very split opinion among the students, and there's actually, it's interesting because there's a noticeable difference between students that are 18 or older, students that are in the 16 to 17-year-old voting, the 16 to 17-year-old age, which is what this initiative is determining to see if we should reduce the voting age to see if they can vote, and then students that are below that age, the 15 and younger. And it's showing a very split opinion, and one that shows that there isn't necessarily a consensus on this, which is good for the dialogue in the town. Yes.
Was that sent out to all 4 grades?
Yes.
Yeah, okay.
Okay, yeah. And I don't think that we sent it out to the middle school because I think that's a little bit too young, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
Just a comment about the middle school one. What if we sent it like specifically to future 8th graders? Because I feel like that would give us a better grasp than sending it to like 5th graders.
Do we think that they would actually like fill it out though? That's good. I don't know, because I know that 8th graders sometimes, especially like middle schoolers in general, I don't know if they would like grasp what like the municipal elections are specifically, because there's a difference between municipal elections and like state, federal, and other local elections. Yeah. Do you kind of think?
Yeah, I see what you're saying.
Lines? Yeah, I think that's why we avoided targeting like the middle school with this, but that's still a good point to bring up. Thank you. And so does anyone have any questions on our like progress with this so far? Okay. So the other part that I wanted to bring up with this initiative specifically is any opportunities for us to share community outreach that we have done, any discussions that we've had with our liaisons, if you've met with your liaisons since our last meeting. I know that Thomas, did you meet with Betsy Sheeran at all?
I wasn't able, I sent an email just to schedule a meeting, but I haven't
Okay.
actually had the meeting yet. Should be before the next meeting.
Okay, perfect. All right. So that'll have some, that'll give us some good information to present at the final meeting of the term. Has it, yeah,
So I haven't had a meeting since the last one, but the first responders career day, we had that on, I believe it was April 29th.
Mhm.
And then I just figured I would share that, but it was really good. There was a lot of people who signed up. I was only expecting like maybe 10. There was almost 50 there,
Okay.
which was, it was really good. So my mom was there, and then someone who she works with, like kind of like the manager of Cataldo, brought in a CPR dummy. So like people got to try that. Officer Kelly brought in like one of the vests and the motorcycle helmets. There were presentations. It was really good. And Mr. Robinson said that it was really helpful and that there were a lot of kids interested, and that we'll definitely keep doing it next year.
yeah,
Yeah.
that's perfect. Thank you for that. Yeah,
So with the Disabilities Commission, as of, I wasn't able to attend the most recent meeting because I had a concert that day. But as of early April, so I brought up the Inspire poem night and everything like that. So we actually talked about possibly having something in October, like about like having a game night almost where it could be like accessible, like lawn games, stuff like that, like board games. And so we just want to get the opinion of the youth council of like what could be added to this, like to make it like a bigger thing in the community and how we could get this out.
okay, yeah. I'm just gonna pause on that just for 1 second. I think that I confused everyone with with where my discussion was going. I think that that's like liaison updates. I just meant with the liaisons, if anyone has had like the opportunity to discuss specifically like the voting age reduction with their liaisons. Sorry, I don't think no, that's okay. I don't think I was clear on that. Has anyone had the opportunity? It's okay if you haven't yet. I know that it's not necessarily like it would necessarily come up naturally in conversation, but if anyone does have meetings with their liaisons between now and our next meeting in June, it might be beneficial to bring that up with them. I know that back at my original meeting with the chair of the town council, Mike McLean, I know that we discussed the voting age reduction initiative, but that's back when it was just like with us, and he did bring it up to the town council as something to keep on their radar. And so some people in the community and the town council are aware of this and are prepared to hear what we have to say at our June meeting to see which direction we go with this. If we choose to recommend this for an open town meeting, or if we choose to maintain this, if we choose to recommend like the maintenance of the status quo. Does anyone have any questions? So our next steps for this would be to just keep an eye out for when I send out the final compiled report that was approved to be created at our last meeting. Because then we'll be voting on that at, I think we already voted on it. But that will, I will be sharing that so that way everyone can just read it and go over what we discussed at our last meeting with all the different research areas that people worked on. And then I will prepare a presentation on the final survey results that will be presented. The community survey, the one that's for anyone in the community, that should be going up, I believe, today or tomorrow. So Michaela, I'm going to send that to you, and then you can send that on social media. Yeah.
Definitely.
And then it can also go out on the digital boards in town to get more people to sign up to fill it out. Does anyone have any questions on the current trajectory of the voting age reduction initiative?
So if this does go through with the town council, like if we get a vote on that, then how does that go through the rest?
So I believe based on what the individual who made the research on like the pathway to actually, if we choose to enact this, I believe what would follow through is we would submit something to the town council or just the town itself. And it would go on an open meeting. It's not the town council that approves it, but actually like the citizens of Wakefield that attend the open meeting. And from there, the citizens of Wakefield would have the opportunity to either support reducing the municipal voting age or reject it. If it were to be approved, it still has to be approved by the state and the governor, because it's called a home rule petition.
Thank you.
Yeah. Does anyone else have any other questions before we move on?
Is there a precedent at all like through Massachusetts for this?
Yes, many other towns and cities in Massachusetts have already submitted and passed home rule petitions, like Cambridge, like Boston as well. And unfortunately, the state hasn't actually acted upon those home rule petitions, but adding more voices, what would be the benefit if Wakefield were to do this as well, if that's what we ultimately decide to do, it would be adding another town to that chorus of voices to showcase more broad support for this.
Thank you.
Does anyone else have any questions? Now we're going to move on to liaison updates. So Liv already shared her liaison update, and I'm very happy to hear that the event was a great success. Definitely something that I can see returning in future years as well. Something that provides a lot of opportunities for a diverse array of students to really find their passion. So I'm very happy that you were able to have success with that. Yeah.
Thank you.
And then Nico, with your point about the Inspire Cafe, you said something about
So-
asking for youth council input, right?
Yes, so we want to do the Inspire like game night thing. But so what we talked about was actually making like something in October instead of, so it wouldn't be directly through Inspire, but like Inspire could set up like a little stand for like catering and stuff like that, and we could do like a whole game night, stuff like that in the Civic Center. But I just wanted opinions to bring to the Disabilities Commission about what could be added as well to make it more interesting to the youth to actually come out and meet people.
Yeah, thank you. Does anyone have any ideas? Yeah, Parker?
Is there a way that we could get like senior citizens of Wakefield to like collaborate, or like the Council on Aging to collaborate with the Commission of Disabilities for this like game night?
Absolutely, but I think that would have to go through, it's Laurel who's on the
Yes.
council.
Yeah.
That would probably have to go through Laurel about that. But I'm pretty sure that the Commission on Disabilities would be very open to having like the Council on Aging have something about it.
All right.
Thank you, Parker. Does anyone else have any ideas, suggestions? Oh yeah, Ellie.
Hi. I was just thinking, if we're trying to get like more people involved, especially like youth and stuff, we could try and get some of like the clubs at school and stuff involved. Like you could get like the Dungeons and Dragons club to maybe do something at it, or the youth action team I know loves to be involved in things like this. So maybe trying to get some of those clubs in.
Oh yeah, absolutely. I'm almost certain that the D&D club would do that, and the youth action team, would they do that, Nathaniel? Because I remember you being a part of that. How willing would they be?
I think pretty willing.
All right, so we would probably have to reach out to Miss Tarnis runs it, right?
The middle school?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, and I don't know necessarily who runs that at the high school. I think it's Mr. Robinson.
This is like,
Mrs. Leahy, and I can bring that up with her as well and see, like, just gather ideas on how they could join in on this. But the D&D club could almost certainly have a little thing there.
I know the high school has a Best Buddies chapter,
Mhm.
so maybe we can get them involved too. I'm not necessarily sure who runs that, but they do have the middle school too. Yeah, we could do it.
I-
Whoever runs that, we can reach out.
Yeah, it could be like a best buddies / game night thing for disabilities, etc. And and that would probably be exactly what they would be willing to do if it could get the word out about what they do to more people in the town.
Thank you. Does anyone else have any suggestions?
Is there? I don't know if this is still. I know there was a game club at one point at the high school, but I'm not.
The Guild of Gamers
The
thing.
Guild of
I
Gamers.
I went there once just to see what it was. And there wasn't a huge amount of people, but they do
Okay.
have like board games and stuff like that.
Okay.
Yeah, it's yeah, thank you, Nico. I'm glad to hear that it's progressing. The idea of the game night is progressing. And I hope that this was able to kind of give you more ideas to bring back to the Commission on Disabilities.
Yes, any input I can get is always super valuable to me.
Thank you, and please keep us updated at the next meeting if anything else progresses.
My next meeting is June 2nd, so I'll absolutely do that.
Oh, perfect, thank you. All right, so for item 6, is the school supplies drive and carpool competition update. So I'm going to pass it over to Ellie to give us an update on this.
Hi, so the carpool competition is now live with the help of Michaela. So thanks for that. Definitely if you're at the high school and you have friends who drive or you drive yourself, we would love some help promoting that and getting some early submissions and things. In terms of the school supplies drive, we currently have boxes in each of the elementary schools, the middle school, and the high school. I've sent flyers to all the principals, and they're helping send those out to the parents and stuff. And I've also reached out to the PTOs, and like 3 of them have gotten back to me so far, saying that they would also help promote it with flyers. Some people are helping me as part of their civic action project, so they're helping reach out to like the guidance office department at the high school and stuff, just trying to like alert more people that this is happening and that they can bring in their school supplies to donate. And then we also have, this is the most pertinent for you guys, is we have a table at the June 14th Recycling and Energy Day. So that would be like 9 a.m. to 12 p.m. on June 14th. So if any of you could help out at that table, I know we have at least like 50 white binders coming as a donation during that time, and hopefully other donations too. So any help you have manning that or any advice you have in terms of trying to promote this would be really great.
Yeah, fantastic, Ellie. Thank you for sharing that with us. Yeah, Liz.
I have a question, Ellie. Did you speak with Rep. Kate's? Did you speak with Haley about having the table? Is that who you worked with?
I worked through the Environmental Sustainability Committee, so they have like contacts to the event. So they were the ones who helped me set it up, and they said I could have a table there.
Okay, so I guess my question is the youth council having a table at this event?
The school supplies drive is having a table at the event.
Okay.
So I reached out to them. I was like, "Can I have a table for the school supplies drive?" And they were like, "Yeah." So
Okay,
it's
I just.
yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, so it's specific to that. If you wanted to make it like a specifically youth, like just broader youth council thing, we could do that too. I could ask about that.
I guess I was just asking, because you were reporting on it as a liaison update for the youth council, so I wasn't sure if this was part of the youth council, the school supplies drive is part of.
The school supplies drive is it's part of the youth council. It's part of my job as liaison for the environmental student. Yeah.
Okay. Just because they had asked about the youth council want a table. And I was like, I think there already is one, and so that's what I was thinking.
Yeah.
It's just that process. Okay.
No, yeah, we definitely, we have a table for the school supplies drive. So yeah.
Okay, great.
Okay, perfect. Thank you. Does anyone have, or is anyone able and willing to volunteer at the event? Just to reiterate, it's June 14th from 9 to 12 p.m. And we can split, if there's multiple volunteers, we can split up the shifts, the volunteering shifts. So is anyone able and willing?
I think I can.
Okay.
I'm not
Yeah.
opposed.
Okay, yeah, thank you.
I had one thing.
Yeah.
So for the carpool competition, the form only takes like not even 5 minutes to fill out. So if you guys carpool with a friend, make sure to take a picture either inside your car or outside your car, and send that in to us because who loves free ice cream?
Yeah.
I really like, you know.
Ellie, have you, I know that I saw and Michaela, I know that I saw the social media post on Instagram for the carpool competition. Did you not repost, I mean, tag the Wakefield High School and maybe even like the class officers of each grade? Because that might be beneficial because they might repost it. They might repost it and that might get it to more like a broader range of students.
That's a really good idea. Yeah.
Yeah.
We could definitely make another post about it.
Yeah, just like, and even if you don't want to make it seem like you're just starting this or something, you can just say like as a reminder, like with the the carpool competition is underway, make sure to submit like your photos or something
Right.
along those lines. And tag like those different organizations.
That's a great idea. That.
Totally.
I'm glad to hear that it's started and going well. Yeah. Does anyone have anything else that they'd like to add for Ellie? Thank you. Thank you, Ellie. And if there's any other information, please let us know, and I hope to hear a great update at the next meeting.
Absolutely. Thank you.
Thank you. All right, so I'm going to pass it over to Michaela just for a moment. If you have any social media updates.
Yeah, social media is going great. Like I said, we posted about the carpool competition, and that seemed to get a lot of likes and stuff, which is good. What else was I gonna say? Oh yes, I'm gonna take your suggestion and make another post about the carpool competition. Also gonna once I have the survey, I'll make a post about that, and with that post, I'll also kind of do an overview of what we're trying to get done.
Yeah.
Just so everyone is kind of educated about it, so that, there's well-educated, responses and stuff like that. Just so it's more beneficial. And then also, I was thinking we could, because I know last year, the youth council Instagram posted about the seniors and what they're doing next year, their decisions for next year. So I was thinking we could also do the same thing.
Yes.
So seniors, if you guys have like a picture that you could send to me, either email or text, and then I can make a whole, and also like text or email me like your decision, what you're doing here. So like if you're going to college, your major and or minor, if you're going to the workforce, like who you're working for, military, et cetera, et cetera. But yeah.
Yeah, that would be great. That's like a tradition that we do every year, so
Yeah.
it would be great to continue that. I believe we have five-ish,
Mhm.
five seniors this year, so that would be great. Yeah, so I can send out, or you can send out an email, just to those like 5 seniors. To make sure that it is. With the picture and where they're going, they're doing. Yeah. Thank you, Michaela. Are there any other updates?
No.
Okay, perfect. All right, so next up is item 8, middle school youth council applications. So as we all know, applications have closed for the upcoming term of the youth council, but we're still looking for middle school youth council applicants specifically. We didn't receive enough to fill the quota that we have. So if any of you know 7th graders or 6th graders that are over the age of 13 already, I don't know if anyone of those, I don't know. But if you know any of those students, if you could encourage them to apply to youth council and under any and in any ways get the word out to more students of that age range, it would be great because I know that this term specifically, we weren't able to fill the 3rd seat on the youth council middle school seat. So it would be great to make sure that we have 3 middle school members for next year, as sooner rather than later, so that the town council is able to appoint them under this cycle. I'm sorry, so that the town council can approve them at their next meeting. Does anyone have any questions? Oh, yeah.
Do you know about when, like the list of people will come out?
Usually the list of people comes out after the town council meets in June, because they approve it probably at that meeting. I would have to check when that date is. I'm not
Yeah,
exactly
that's
sure.
okay.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Does anyone else have any other questions? Next, I wanted to give an update on the youth council toolbox. So this is something that Liz and Vanessa Westlake. So Vanessa Westlake was the chair of the youth council previously. She's now a freshman in college. Well, she's a rising sophomore in college. And she is returning to like the town government this summer to work as an intern for Liz to work on a youth council toolbox to make sure that youth council members have going forward a lot of resources and an understanding of what exactly youth council is, the different procedures that go into the youth council, and all the information that enables the youth council to function the way it does, to make sure that there's an allocated, collected resource for all youth council members. So I wanted to provide that update for all of you members that are returning next year. That's something that hopefully will be ready for you all to hit the ground running with as a very strong resource. Yeah. Do any of you have any questions, or Liz, do you want to add anything?
Like, just one thing I was gonna, we talked to this today about is potentially adding sort of words of advice or words of wisdom from past chairs or past communication heads in some of the positions, or even past members. So this may be reaching out to you to get some quotes or things to include. Or even, I'm thinking now about recruitment, because we're gonna include some best practices for recruitment, and I'm thinking about middle school recruitment. Maybe we'll reach out to some of you who are in middle school or joined the youth council in middle school, and what was important to you to hear about the youth council to make it feel a little more accessible and interesting, maybe exciting to join.
Yeah, definitely. That would be very beneficial. Thank you, Liz. Does anyone have any questions?
What are some of the resources that she has created or will be creating?
So I think, yeah, that's a great question. I think some of the resources would be, for example, in leadership roles, I know that there's a lot that goes into being chair or being vice chair, being the clerk or communications, or the social media manager, I should say. So there's a lot of different and kind of complicated things that can go into that. And we want to make sure that anyone that's going into those positions has all the resources that they need to be able to execute that position to the best of their abilities. So like, for example, some resources might be how to make an agenda, how to write minutes, how to call a meeting, how to prepare like the documents or research that's needed for the agenda items on meetings. So that's some examples of what might be included in that. Yeah. Does anyone else have any questions? All right, thank you. Next is the approval of the April 15th, 2025 meeting minutes. So I'm going to pass it over to Thomas.
Great. So our previous meeting on April 15th, our main item of discussion was the municipal voting age reduction initiative, which we had just heard back from the people who were doing research. And we got their results. And we sent out the survey, or we planning to send out the survey very soon. We got a few other liaison updates from Nathaniel and Liv about the first responder day. We talked about the school supplies drive, which is now up and running, discussed the budget, the confirmation that we had received a bit of a budget for the next fiscal year, youth council applications, and that was about it.
Thank you, Thomas. Do I have a motion to accept the minutes?
I have a motion.
Do I have a second?
I second.
I'm going to call down the roll. Myself, yes. Thomas?
Yes.
Declan?
Yes.
Nathaniel?
Yes.
Parker?
Yes.
Michaela?
Yes.
And Liv.
Yes.
All right, that passes unanimously. So as for the next meeting date, so I already sent out the when to meet for the next meeting date. That was included in the when to meet to plan this meeting as well. We don't have enough responses yet to kind of definitively say when the next meeting is, but the way that it's currently looking is most likely June 11th at 4 p.m. But if your availability has changed, or if you haven't filled it out yet, please make sure that you fill it out as soon as possible so that we were able to make a final decision as soon as possible. So yeah, does anyone have any questions? Does anyone have anything else that they would like to say before we adjourn the meeting?
You guys want to have
Oh, yes, yes. I always forget to add it to the agenda.
No worries.
Huh.
So our budget passed at town meeting. So we had a 6% increase overall for the budget. That is a level funded budget to current staffing. So we're not hiring new people. There's some positions that are being repurposed. Other than that, on our end, that was our big push during April is getting the budget done and making sure that that's over the hump. I just came from a tour of the new high school. It's still on schedule and on budget. It's looking at January of 2026. No, 2027, sorry. To open. The space looks amazing. It feels a lot bigger than the current high school, just with the way the layout is. Even though it's only, I think, 10,000 square feet bigger. It's gonna be a really nice facility once it gets up and running. Other than that, we don't really have a lot right this second, but over the summer, we're gonna start working on our policy book a little bit more, and we have 4 more policy books to rewrite to get updated to send to the MASC website so they can make it very accessible to everybody.
Thank you very much.
No problem.
I wanted to ask, I did hear from some people, so did the school committee approve the later school start?
Yes,
times?
we did.
Okay, yeah, and that's for not next year, but the year after.
Correct. In fall of 2026.
Okay.
And that has to be negotiated with the contract,
Yes.
in the contract. Reopen that, I think, next year.
Okay. Yeah.
So, once the teachers union. We've also finalized contracts with teachers union and I think 4 of the 7, I think we still have 3 outstanding contracts to finalize. And we have a memorandum of understanding with the paras.
Okay.
So we're just waiting for them to vote and approve that. And I think the only 2, I know that the crossing guards are one of the units that are still coming up. I'm not on the labor subcommittee, so I don't have a ton of.
Yes.
about those.
It's okay. Thank you very much. Does anyone have any questions for Ms. Quinn?
The start times are being delayed to 8:30, correct?
Possibly. So that is the time that we recommended. It has to be negotiated with the union. So that could change.
One more question
Yeah.
about that, because I know Woodville goes in at 8:45. Logistically, how is it gonna work traffic speaking? Because that's gonna like increase a lot.
That was one of the bigger issues that we talked about with that time, but we think that that's actually gonna be less problematic with the new rotary that they're putting in with the new high school.
Oh, okay. Thank you.
Yes.
But before that, like in the fall, before the high school is completed, will that rotary be there?
I don't know.
That's what I was curious.
I wish I knew the answer to that. I do not know the answer to that. It is not part of the school committee's oversight to build the rotary. Even though we know that it's coming. I would assume that it's a permanent building committee, but it might even be the DPW.
Thank you.
Yeah, no problem.
Thank you. Yeah,
Just with, like, I know Nico specifically said for Woodville,
Yeah.
but like, I'm at the high school right now and my younger sister's at the Doll Bear.
Yeah.
So I can drive now, and I won't be at high school when that goes into effect, but like, for families with children with such big age gaps like that, if the older child can't drive, that may pose an issue, especially,
That's why we offer bus service.
yeah, but
yeah, thank you.
Yeah.
Does anyone else have any questions?
Piggybacking off that for the bus service part, how is bus service gonna work? Cause do they or do they not use the same buses for the high school and elementary because it's at different times?
That's a good question. We have 5 buses that we use for all 3 schools, for all 3 levels of school. And that gets planned out by Deirdre every year. So it just depends on who's signing up for buses and who's not. And we work with NRT to try and nail down which buses are gonna take care of which neighborhoods. So that is something that changes regularly. There's no established permanent concrete bus.
I was just curious how timing would work then for the new high school with them using that also for the elementaries.
My assumption would be is that they would end up using buses for the middle school for the high school. Rather than the elementary schools, but again, I don't know for sure because it changes based on how many people have signed up, what neighborhoods they've signed up for.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Just a clarifying question.
Yeah, absolutely.
Thank you very much. All right, so if there's no more questions, do I have a motion to adjourn?
I motion.
Do I have a second?
I
A
second.
second.
Now I'm going to call down the roll. Please say yay or nay. Myself, yay. Thomas?
Yay.
Declan?
Yeah.
Nathaniel?
Yay.
Parker?
Yay.
Michaela?
Yay.
And Liv.
Yay.
All right, so we have adjourned unanimously. Thank you very much, everyone.